say you need charity from the past.
Murder down in Louisiana.
Louisiana, how romantic.
Actually, it was kind of muggy. I got mildew on my goat shoes.
I must say, I'm terribly disappointed in Louis Fan. All that business about Ludwig Flush in the wheelchair. Lucky for her, the hero of her books isn't so dense.
Never read much of her. A bit too soft for me. I like my crime hard-boiled.
Murder is not an egg, Chandler.
Bad eggs stink, and so does murder. There's been a murder in this house. It stinks.
I had Rita throw an embroidered bedsheet over poor Mr. Carlyle. I thought it was the least I could do.
You're a gracious doll.
I can be gracious and I can be resolute.
I feel like a human being thinks that hot tub.
You look like a human being. My kind of human being.
Chandler tells me you met in Louisiana.
At Mardi Gras.
How romantic.
I didn't think so. The weather was muggy and I got mildew on my platforms.
Gotta admire any girl who can arrive at a weekend house party in the height of a storm. In a helicopter.
Don't call me a girl, Chandler. I'm all woman.
You can say that again.
You heard me the first time.
I was annoyed when you didn't arrive on the boat, then I was relieved.
Relieved?
I mean, now that we're all apparent targets for some deranged killer.
You mean Rick Carlisle?
Rick Carlisle isn't the killer, he's the victim.
What's anybody doing about it?
We're doing all we can. We're not eating anything and we're not drinking anything.
Miss Fan made some preposterous deductions that did nothing but cloud the issue. The woman is a buffoon.
Everybody seems to be taking the murder so calmly.
Well, I'm not taking it calmly. I was down in the wine cellar.
What of it?
There's a body down there.
Naturally, there's a body down there.
Or unnaturally.
Rick Carlisle.
He's dead.
He won't get any deader.
No, he's really dead.
You been sampling any of the wares down in that cellar?
You don't understand. I thought it was all a game, all part of the joke. I thought he would come back later and say it was all a joke.
Murder is never a joke.
Didn't you hear what Flimsy said? A poison dart.
Murder.
Sit down, Father White. You're weak in your kneecaps.
I'm distraught. Fun and games are one thing. Murder is quite another.
I like realism as well as fantasy in my charades, but I trust you don't believe I'd go as far as murder.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
Can't see a thing. Fog like black ink.
Real murder.
What's the matter with him?
It just got to him that the corpse in the wine cellar is a real corpse.
Would you mind explaining that?
Murder. Real murder. At Ravenswood.
That's the worst kind. Incurable.
Looks as if you're gathering for a council of war.
I've asked the others to join me. I do wish they'd get here. Do shut up.
I'll tell you something else, Louis. I don't believe people talk the way you do.
I've asked Laura to join us too. Where is she?
She's had a bit of a shock.
Shock?
Someone murdered her husband.
She took that standing up, and I don't mean her husband.
He means you, Miss Hayes.
Me? What have I got to do with Laura Carlisle? I don't know the lady. I read some of her books, and they're not my brand at all.
You're more like me, ear to the city's asshole.
Leave my ear out of it.
There you are. Come join us.
I'll sit over here.
As you wish.
You got something on your mind, Miss Maple?
I told you, Chandler, I can be gracious and I can be resolute.
Let's hear the rest of it.
Quite. Ladies and gentlemen, I must apologize for the strange turn of events at Ravenswood Manor.
It's not your fault.
The point I wish to emphasize exactly. I don't want any of you to believe I'd stoop so low as to engineer this misfortune.
Why would we even think such a thing? You mean we might suspect you out to publicize your chain of bookstores?
What bookstores?
It's no secret, is it? Isn't that why we're all here? To make sure our books are on the shelves?
I understand the title you can get, nothing more.
Nonsense.
You go right to the heart of the matter, Charity.
I don't see any reason to beat around the bush.
So you all knew what I was planning?
What if we did? No harm done. Is there?
Why don't we ask Rick?
Rick who?
The dead man in the cellar!
As Miss Fan would say, we must get the train back on track. My reputation as a hostess has been impeccable.
Until now.
Alas, we are forced to remain on the island until morning. Is that correct or isn't it?
Correct.
I will not have my weekend ruined by some unknown killer whose motive or motives as of yet are unrevealed.
Huh?
I will not bow down to any sinister force. Nothing will change. The charade will continue. Forgive
Why
me.
continue?
I want the killer found so he can be caught. Murder is one thing, but the ruination of a weekend party at Ravenswood Manor is quite another.
That's well and good and all, Miss Maple, but we're detective writers, not the police.
The police would only bungle the case. Besides, Mr. Flimsy has already shown remarkable talent in deduction.
I've been prowling around on the scent.
You have a great deal of faith in us.
Pooh, I've already explained my theory. Detective story writers often create sleuths like themselves.
Only more so.
Exactly. I've invited you here because you're the best in your field. Prove it. Find the gatecrasher. Let his apprehension be a warning to all other social bores.
I would call a murderer a social bore.
Who else but a bore would do such a thing?
If all else fails, we could still at least get a pretty good yarn out of this.
Yarn?
A book. I've already got a title. Murder Walks the Fog.
Island of Evil.
Mystery in San Francisco Bay.
The corpse in the wine cellar. Mad weekend.
As soon as the beast is caught, the snake can be punished with a minimum of publicity.
Publicity like door. Works both ways.
And we're agreed. We will not bow down to the intruder. The charade continues.
As you wish.
However,
Yes.
to ensure you that I'm not frivolous in my desire to catch this monster, I will award an honorarium to the one who smokes him out.
How much?
$25,000.
$25,000?
You have until sunrise.
I think she means it.
She means it.
She won't stand for anyone disrupting her weekend house parties.
If I find out who did it, I won't be averse to publicity.
No, your kind never is.
My kind.
Why are we all sitting here talking? That's our killer. She's the one. Mabel Dupre.
Mabel who?
Easy. That's not the Dupre name. Take my word for it. That's Charity Hayes.
Don't let that phony wig fool you. It's Mabel, I tell you.
Mabel? Mabel?
You're making a mistake.
Give me that wig. It's not a wig.
Let her have her.
Oh, you're crazy.
No,
It's not a wig. It's not a wig. Give it to me.
It's not a wig! It's my own hair, you idiot.
Thanks, Charity. I needed that.
What was that all about?
You'll have to forgive her. She's not herself.
Specifically for her, I travel infamous Mabel to play.
You still packing me in wallet.
I can take care of myself, Chandler.
I think we're making a great mistake.
How's that?
The clue was in the recording.
If it is, there's a woman behind it. I can feel it.
There you go with that woman's intuition again.
In other words, Laura, you mean Shashela Finn.
What?
Find the woman.
What woman?
It was famous detective Monsieur Jacques and Dumas, the Mohicans of Paris, who first used the phrase. Wearing his green spectacles and constantly dipping into his snuff box.
Huh?
Forever saying, Shashela Finn.
So you agree with me?
Surely you all know that Monsieur Jacques was a literary ancestor to all the great barons in Victor Hugo's Javert,
Victor who?
to Doyle Holmes and years before Hawkshaw.
What's a ferret?
Hawkshaw. I don't know anyone named Hawkshaw.
Your education in the history of detectives is sadly lacking.
Interesting use of word history suggests the gentleman in the butcher, Ludwig Flush.
I understand the recording accused me of murder.
Yeah.
Well, it's easily explained.
How?
Well, since I've never actually murdered anyone real, that is, the recording had to be in a popular character in one of my books.
I remember. You had a character named Jumbo, the great gumshoe.
I got bored with him and knocked him out. In print, there was a public outcry and critics say I murdered Jumbo.
In much the same manner, Doyle caused a sensation when he killed off Sherlock Holmes.
This is all interesting, but it's getting us nowhere.
I'm not sure I can agree. Most interesting explanation, just other possibilities.
It's getting chilly. I thought someone might need an Afghan. I'll put them in the bedrooms too.
We won't be doing much sleeping.
Gets quite chilly on the island.
First time I've seen her without a hat box.
Curious you should mention the hat box. I recall the case of the Headless Horseman.
I remember that one. A jockey was murdered by his girlfriend at the Kentucky Derby.
Why was he called the Headless Horseman?
You mean...
You mean...
Miss Alice looks amazingly similar to the missing girlfriend, a female addicted to hats. I noticed similarities as soon as I entered Drakenwood Manor.
I'm not worried about the missing girlfriend. I'm worried about the missing...
Don't say it, my dear. It's too dreadful.
She could be the lunatic killer.
Could be.
I think we should lay out a plan of action.
What do you suggest?
Charity and me will tackle the wine cellar. Louis, you and Father White go over the upstairs with a prying tooth comb.
You're not such an article. Hee hee, only a small joke.
If it was a big joke, it wouldn't be any funnier.
What about me?
I'll take Laura with me and we'll go check around the outside.
Is that wise?
You better stick in pairs.
No, I mean going outside. The storm.
Just keep thinking about that 25 grand.
Let's go outside.
Come along, Louis.
You lead, I follow.
Stay close.
I'm so
Sorry about the wig. So's my scalp.
Charity, here we are together again.
Keep your mind on the work, Chandler. Ravenswood Manor isn't Mardi Gras.
How about a hug for old time's sake?
Which way is the wine cellar?
Down that way. No, I'm serious. What about a hug for old time's sake? Come on, I'm waiting. Come on, Charity, I'm waiting. You call that a hug?
I ain't no lover girl.
You!
What? Who were you expecting?
Where's Charity?
Probably in the wine cellar by now. If she's trying to get in, she's not going to.
Why not?
I locked it.
You can unlock it.
The key's by the door.
Iversham! Iversham! Hello? Anybody about? Oh dear. I'll read. It'll quiet my nerves. A case of the curious caretaker. I remember the night I arrived at Skull Island. No one was there to greet me with the exception of Miss Midwinter, the housekeeper, a woman of stern countenance and iron will. And I was terrified. Perhaps the bowman had not been blind and mute, so my fears might have been lessened, but alas, that was not to be. Why was the bell in the abandoned tower ringing? I wondered. Did it foretell some dreaded happening? It wasn't the warmest of welcomes for a governess of 16. What would I encounter here, in this strange house of ancient rocks and dark emotions? Who's there? Who's there, I say? Who are you?
Hurry!
I'm right behind you.
Another moment and we'd be drenched.
If our killer's outside, he's a fool as well as a madman.
She's sleeping.
Should we wake her?
Let her sleep. She needs all the rest she can get.
People murder for one of three reasons, Chandler.
I'm listening.
Profit, revenge.
What's the third reason?
I forget, but it'll come to me.
No sign of the killer anywhere in the house.
Do you think maybe the others have found something outside?
Also, remain upstairs.
They were supposed to remain outside.
The rain forced them in.
What did you two discover?
There's an embroidered bedsheet over the dead man.
Perhaps the killer in gesture of contrition placed a broad bedsheet over the deceased.
Well, a broad bedsheet does sound a bit extravagant, although a plain old bedsheet would have worked as well.
Suggest we consider the motive behind the placing of the broad bedsheet over the cooling body of Rick Carlisle. It could possibly lead us to our killer.
You guys belong in a museum. The old doll had Riditas linen over the victim. Park it.
Well, let's consider.
Louis, I don't think you could find yourself in the dark.
It's not raining as much as before.
Gotta watch that Haversham. She'll sneak up when you ain't looking and steal a hug.
I don't steal anymore. I'm reforming.
What does that
What's up with her?
mean? Who?
Miss Maple.
Bless me, I didn't see her there.
She's awfully still.
Please don't wake her. She's exhausted.
Is it any wonder?
Where's Flimsy?
Washing his hands.
Out, damn spot. Out, I say.
What?
Shakespeare, Macbeth. Act 5, Scene 1. Lady Macbeth attempts to wash away the blood of guilt.
Huh?
Why would a man wash his hands after just entering in from a storm?
Maybe they were dirty, but she doesn't look right.
Who?
Who have we been talking about? Miss Maple.
Napping, I tell you.
Should we wake her?
Old people need sleep. Let her be.
Any luck?
No.
We've discovered exactly nothing.
What's that?
Another figurine? Broken.
Most unusual.
Anybody got any ideas?
About what?
About anything.
Why don't we make up a rubber bridge?
Splendid.
Outrageous! Didn't any of you realize I was murdered?
We thought you were sleeping.
Shots right now. I was slumped over. A figurine fell from the mantle.
What's going on here?
I'll tell you what's going on. You're all a bunch of incompetents. I've arranged for Hammership to fire some blanks to test your reactions and the last. You've all failed miserably. Ladies and gentlemen, you disappoint me profoundly.
We thought you were carrying on with the charade, right?
That, Charity, is self-evident. Since everything else has proven slightly absurd, I'm beginning to doubt the gentleman in the cellar is truly deceased.
He's deceased. Take our word for it.
I shall see for myself. Get the key, Haversham. Idiots!
She's annoyed.
I hope this doesn't mean she'll give up the idea of the bookstores.
We better think of something to calm her down.
You must be famished. There's some leftover food in this container. We might eat that. No one could tamper with it.
I am hungry.
I'll see to it at once.
One moment.
What is it, this tan?
It's fan, not tan. Louis Fan. Think of a fan. Cools one on a hot summer day. Fan. Understand?
I'm not a child. You had something to say to me?
Must be obvious to all that killer's one of us.
What?
I will explain.
Please do.
Please do.
Why would the mad sweetheart, the heartless jockey, take a job at Ravenswood Manor?
Are you talking about the horseman murder at the Kentucky Derby?
I am.
He wasn't heartless. He was headless.
Good Miss Oswell is the mad sweetheart of the jockey.
That's ridiculous.
Just she was also the mad sweetheart with Carlisle, and when he wished to end it, was struck down, as was unfortunate jockey.
You mean...
There is our murder.
You mean...
Fascinating and unscrupulous.
You mean...
Mabel Dupre.
What's everyone staring at?
You are Mabel Dupre. You murdered Carlisle.
I can't have another mistake.
Here's a photograph clipping from the newspaper of unhappy jockey and his mad sweetheart.
Rubbish.
Note the positive resemblance. Case is solved.
Louis?
Yes.
The woman in this photo is not a white woman. Miss Islesboro is a white woman.
What a meatball. No wonder your books are going out of print.
Let me see this. You are not the mad sweetheart.
Maybe I'm not, sweetheart, but I'm certainly mad. Furious, you fool.
Why are we here talking about the Kentucky Derby when Miss Maple is upset with a lot of us? Rita, forgive this. What did you call her?
I called Miss Fan a fool.
Forgive the fool. Please fetch Miss Maple from the wine cellar.
You ought to be locked up. You are a menace.
Louis, you're one in a million.
2 wrong deductions in one evening is quite enough.
When all the hens cluck, who can handle this stuff?
I agree with Louis on one point.
And what is that?
The killer is one of us.
Why was Rick the only one to get it?
Get what?
The dart in the chair? Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. That was tactless. No fear, though. I put a piece of metal plate behind the portrait so the passageway the deadly dart took has been sealed.
I wish you'd stop talking like one of the characters in your lousy books.
I wish the dawn would get here.
Give it time.
This is also distressing. But he's dead. Quite dead. I mean, no mistake.
I think I might be able to shed some light on this grisly affair.
Pitch in.
Have her share.
What about her?
Rita, what I told you was in confidence.
I don't think we have any right to keep it a secret any longer.
About Haversham's police record?
How did you know?
I told Mrs. Carlisle.
Haversham isn't homicidal.
What about the unpleasantness with Hatchet?
Hatchet, aha! Think of the sort.
Haversham, Hatchet. Didn't she try to break into a couple of safety deposit boxes by chopping through the bank's outside walls?
She made some such attempt.
But I didn't get away with it, and I would appreciate it if you would only talk about me when I was in the room. It's only polite.
Murder, fight, and seldom go together.
Will this cursed storm never end?
I think maybe I could shed some light in this affair.
Please do.
So we all understand that the murderer is recording to lay out his plan.
Carlisle's demise is proof.
Proof of nothing, except that he was marked for death. Do you remember what I was accused of?
Murder?
Murder, but only in the figurative sense. What about it, Louis? What about that night in Shanghai?
I know nothing.
Remember the stakes. Survival.
I'm thinking of something sinister. There's only one figurine left on the mantle.
If our killer's going to strike again, you have to do it before daylight.
I hope no one will say, "No one leave this room."
Night in Shanghai is not referred to a holiday in Asia. I once used it for a book title. I used it first. Never forgave me.
My murder wasn't real. Night in Shanghai was nothing more than a book title. What about you, Mrs. Carlyle?
Me?
What does tulip signify?
Tulip was a dog, the sweetest little puppy I ever saw. Rick and I wanted to buy him, but the pet shop owner was adamant. He was going to sell him to a harsh and disagreeable army major, so Rick and I...
Dog nappers.
We changed his name to Napoleon because we didn't know how it looked on the society page.
What dark secret of yours, Chandler?
Do I have to?
Chandler.
Before I became a detective writer, I had a second job.
And what was your second job?
I was a literary critic.
Critic? That is foul.
Don't even bother asking me what happened on the playing field of Eton. I haven't the slightest idea.
Don't you see? The recording is a joke. The crimes aren't crimes at all. Indistractions. Perhaps nothing more.
As I was playing jokes here and there, someone else was doing the same with the recording.
That's my guess. I can buy it.
But who did it?
We don't know if the tape recording and the killer are one and the same. What's important here is finding out the killer's identity. What we have to figure out is who had the motive and who had the opportunity to knock off Carlisle. The killer had to have known the house.
Could it have been that strange person in the dark clothes?
Who?
A moment before I was shot, he was in this room. Didn't I tell you? It must have slipped my mind. Do you think it was someone playing another little joke? Enjoying the charade?
Let me go on with my deducing.
Please do, Chandler. I have faith in you.
Who had the motive and... Who had the opportunity?
Chandler, for goodness sake.
What's that?
It's a telephone.
There is no telephone on Turkey Island.
It's coming from over here.
The desk.
There's no phone on the desk.
Try the drawer.
Ravenswood Manor.
Who is the caller?
What did they say?
I'd rather not repeat what I just heard. The language was crude.
An obscene phone call at this hour?
Who had the motive and who had the opportunity? I'll handle this. And the detective gave me either a firecracker or a fizzle. This is Chandler Marlowe speaking, you pinhead. I have my ways of tracing phone calls, and when I find out who you are, I'm gonna rearrange your face. You're gonna be breathing through your navel. Oh, is that so? You think you're man enough? Just remember my name, Buster. Chandler Marlowe.
Mr. Marlowe, would you mind explaining?
Part of the charade. You wanted us to keep it up, didn't you?
But the telephone rang.
I've got a relay buzzer in my pocket.
Shall I answer it?
Do shut up, you silly girl.
Better tell it all. Or
Rita, what do I have to do with this?
I'm Chandler's secretary.
You're what?
When Miss Maple advertised for a social secretary position for 1 month, Chandler had me apply.
I already had my invitation, so I thought it'd be a great opportunity for some laughs.
Murder is no laughing matter.
I kept kneeling Louis about the horseman murder at the Kentucky Derby, and I had him thinking it was Rita who did the jockeying.
Interesting theory, but Louis Van is not buying. The hat box undoubtedly contains the blow-dart gun that silenced Rick Carlisle.
Hey!
Behold, the murder weapon.
What's in there?
A head.
A head!
Cabbage.
Cabbage?
I called you a fool before, and that's exactly what you are. All part of the gag.
Cabbage is food for thought.
Everything seems to be falling into place.
Not exactly, Miss Hayes. You're forgetting one thing. Father White. He never claimed of any indiscretions. Plus, he knows this house inside and out.
What are you talking about?
I saw you coming out of that secret passageway.
Secret passageway. Now we're getting somewhere.
In psychological detection, we must always see past the naked eye. We can't always see the invisible snakes that exist in every glass of water.
What's he going on about?
Invisible crocodiles that swim in every spoonful of soup.
Sue?
Or the invisible dolphins that roam and play in every droplet of milk.
What are you getting at?
I merely wish that we must apply the microscope to the mind when we're investigating.
That's the sort of stuff he writes in his books. Nobody can ever understand it.
I guess there's no point in continuing this deception any farther. Truth of the matter, I'm not Father White.
Impossible.
Who are you?
Just a strolling minstrel. I'm an actor.
I never invite actors.
They were doing a new radio series on Father White, so I persuaded the real invitee to allow me to take his place, to get inside the mind of Father White, so I can act and react as he would.
That's quite enough of that drivel. Invisible crocodiles, indeed.
But the secret passageway! There is no secret passageway. The original owner had a flair for eccentric architecture. It just leads up from the wine cellar.
Is that where the other door is?
Didn't you know?
Ravenswood Manor is in my home. I merely rented it for a few weeks for the purpose of this weekend house party.
Listen, the helicopter!
Maybe this time it is the police.
Can you see it?
Too dark. Is it at the dock or over the house?
It looks like it's on the north side of the island.
We could signal with a flare.
Through the kitchen, out that way.
Sailing the helicopter may be our last hope.
We must get its attention.
Wait! Look!
It's him! The man I was telling you about!
Good Lord! It's Rick Carlisle!
That's not possible! You're dead!
Never saw anyone deader.
I too thought of a little joke that'd be amusing. Or instead of one Rick Carlisle, there were two.
Two? Rick's twin brother. He's the one in the wine cellar.
I was gonna confuse everyone, be in two places at the same time. Only someone got to me first and finished me off.
You mean your brother, don't you?
That's right, only the killer had made a mistake, and so I decided to stay low and learn what I could.
What did you learn?
Nothing.
I'll take it from here.
You are the murderer.
How can someone be so consistently wrong?
You'll take what from here?
The investigation. I saw Carlisle talking to his brother in town. Carlisle's twin was a con artist. If he was coming here, he came here to rob. Flimsy owes me a favor, so he was no problem.
That's right, my brother was no good. He did seem to agree rather quickly.
The pickings would be good. Some jewels, some wallets, who knows what else.
If you're not Peter Flimsy, then who are you?
Pharaoh Link.
Crack investigator on the Frisco force.
That's San Francisco. And would you get your foot out of that wastebasket?
I'm trying!
Everything has been explained satisfactorily.
Not quite.
It was all a charming and delightful exercise, and now you see it, now you don't.
Who killed the man in the wine cellar?
Let me answer that.
Who are you, miss?
Mabel!
Mabel. Oh, Rick. You are the murderer.
If you say that one more time, I will murder you.
I mean business. I killed the wrong man once, and I won't make that mistake a second time.
Where's the real Haversham?
Probably in Canada by now. I gave her $200 to take her place.
I won't be able to give a very good report to the parole people.
I wanted you.
He made a fool of me. Nobody walks out on Mabel Dupree.
Rick, she's gonna shoot!
What a woman!
You're a wonder.
There's a police helicopter flying around to see if I need any assistance. It's going to have an unexpected passenger. I'm taking you in.
Look, it's dawn.
And the storm has passed. The boats will be here soon.
Come along, Mabel. You've got a date with the jury.
I won't have anything to worry about. Not if there's 12 men on that jury.
I don't want to stay in this place another minute.
Let's get our luggage and get out of here.
I didn't bring any luggage. Maybe I can hitch a ride with the Pharaoh Link. He's my kind of man.
What about me? How do you like that? I should have known better than to trust a dame.
Rita, see if you can get something on the radio besides static. I do hope they'll send someone for the fellow in the cellar.
I'm sure they will.
What a night. What a night.
We interrupt this program of Light Chamber Music to bring you a special bulletin. A dangerous murderer has escaped from the Marion County Institute for the Criminally Insane, known only as the Killer of 40.
Turn it off, Rita! We don't want to go through that again.